boy, and I left as a young man. I felt very well prepared to deal with the real world.
The world was changing, and there were members of my class who really picked up on that.
Barnard had opened my eyes to things and had made me inquisitive and had made me aware about the world.
Your generosity, your time, your expertise and enthusiasm keep our university moving forward.
Daphne Fodor Philipson, Barnard College, Columbia Business School.
I grew up in a very sheltered Catholic grammar school, Catholic high school environment, and coming to Columbia, I finally met people from all different backgrounds, races, creeds, religions, and it really did open my eyes to a world that I just wasn't that familiar with. I was a commuter and a transfer student, but had a wonderful experience here because over there in the college campus, which is now a dance studio, was something called the Annex. And that's where the commuters hung out. And that's where we ate, that's where we chatted, that's where we ate, that's where we chatted. There was this big controversy when I was a junior about a student called Angela Clarke who was living off campus with a boyfriend, which was obviously in 1968 something you really didn't want to do if you wanted to stay a student at Barnard. One of my fun classes was, I believe it was my senior year, was with Professor Barry Ulanoff. He was talking about being in a cafe somewhere in Italy, having tortellini in brodo. And my little Bronx self was saying, I don't know what he's talking about, I don't know what that is, but someday I'm going there and I'm going to have it. And years later, I did. Once you get involved with fundraising, they do not let you go. Being the fundraising chair really gave me a personal connection with my class that I would not have had. Really proud of the fact that I was a founding director of the Athena Center for Leadership Studies, which I guess now is in its 6th year. One of the really wonderful things that the Athena does is this annual film festival. And I think they tell me that I am the only person who has been at every film festival for all of the 3 days that it's on. As soon as I come here, I'm part of a sisterhood. I'm part of a group, and we all talk and chat, and if you see people that you don't know, immediately you have something in common.
Students are students for just a few years, but alumni are alumni forever.
For me, being a student for a while and an alumna forever is like, thank you. Like, that's the best thing that you could have ever given me.
Angela Clarke Duff, nursing.
Columbia changed my life on the day I arrived. I grew up that day. Anatomy and physiology, as I said, was a whole new language. The world was changing. Learning about this community here in Washington Heights, which had a succession of immigrant populations, one that was maybe not so familiar to all of us. There was a blue and white striped uniform with 5 buttons on the sleeves, a bustle in the back, an apron that had 2 parts. Today it is not like that. We were in the most beautiful building. It was a stunning building, and we all had water views and views of that gorgeous bridge. There were beau parlors for our boyfriends. Of course, all that changed within a year or two. From the day we left Maxwell Hall, there was hope that there would be something good for the School of Nursing, and it's about to happen. My interest has been, of course, we need that building, and anything that I can do to support our dean in her efforts, and looks like it almost got it done. The welcoming breakfast is really great because I get a chance to meet all these amazing students who have chosen our school. It's compressed into 1 year. It's a lot for them, and they need to know that others have gone through it before and that there is a support system. I think there's just no greater compliment to a parent to see a child be interested in the same things and to have chosen Columbia.
Please meet the candidates of the 2015 graduating class of the School of Nursing.
To be part of the Columbia School of Nursing community and the greater university community is something that you always carry with you. It's part of your identity. It's where you grew up.
Robert L. Kahan, 69, Columbia College.
My dad took me to my first Columbia football game. It was Columbia Lehigh. I was 4 years old. My father emigrated to the United States in 1910. Graduated in 1920, won a Phi Beta Kappa Key. There was only one place that I wanted to go, and the only question was whether or not I was going to be able to get in. I loved studying economics here at Columbia. I loved my professors. There was an enormous amount of individual attention and interest given to how each student was progressing. I started working for the radio station as a freshman. I was actually announcing on live radio a game from Madison Square Garden.
And he puts up the second. It's good too. 56, 53.
I never dreamt that could happen, and if it were not for Columbia, I never would have been there. One horrible night, the police came onto the campus in full riot gear with sticks and raided all the buildings that the students were occupying and dragged them out forcefully. There was no press allowed onto the university campus, so the only means of reporting the news and what was happening here was our radio station, WKCR. I put together a scholarship fund in my father's name, and I have in the radio station, there's a Bob Kahn sports studio, and there were, on my 20th anniversary, I endowed a president's chair. Having the opportunity to meet kids who aspired to go to Columbia was far more gratifying to me than writing a check. Even though by that time I was out in California, they said that if you donated $10,000 to helping the football stadium get constructed, you could have season seats for 10 years. And so I did that, and I still have those seats to this day. It's very humbling to be singled out, and especially to receive a medal with Bill Campbell, who has been one of the great sons of Columbia forever and ever and ever. It was a very, very special day, and one that I will never forget.